The FDA has designated the psychedelic compound psilocybin as a breakthrough for treatment for depression as research on the drug continues. But the magic mushroom industry, pioneered here in Oregon, is struggling to gain momentum. And those inside the industry point to a few reasons why. Stephanie Domerat has the story.
We have a mental health crisis. Flat out, we have a mental health crisis. And there's something that can help, and we're not using it, no.
In this downtown Portland high-rise lies a dream for a brighter future.
This is where they come in and they check in. Because people who come here for
Craig Frank co-owns Sacred Mushroom,
transitional reasons.
one of 25 licensed psilocybin treatment centers in Oregon.
To spark creativity if it's not for a transitional reason or...
Since opening his doors last September,
it's going okay. It's going okay. So this is the largest of our single treatment rooms.
The number of people wanting to take that trip isn't quite as he hoped.
And it's a shame because they were taught they shouldn't engage in something that can really help them. A lot of times when people are engaging with psilocybin, they seek out nature.
Frank took his first journey with mushrooms after Oregon voters legalized supervised psilocybin therapy in 2020.
Measure 109 regulates a promising approach for depression and anxiety.
Do you wish that you came across this sooner?
Much sooner. God, yes. I was the guy who, honked the horn when you cut me off. And now I'm just, you do you.
Just getting the bed ready for the clients.
AJ Zimfer was one of the first in 2023 to get licensed as a psilocybin facilitator, leaving her longtime career behind.
To be honest, the first 9 months were pretty good, but that was when I was one of the first 100 licensed people.
Now with close to 400 facilitators, the demand for their help isn't keeping up.
That's kind of the problem. The people who are making the money right now in this are the schools. The service centers are not. The licensing fees for them are very high. The facilitators are not, we're breaking even. And most of us are not doing it for the money.
This is the group room. There was enough square footage in here for dosing 8 clients at a time.
For MJ Wilt, breaking even was a high bar.
I just was not making bank. I'm not even breaking even and not even close. Just a small kitchen here.
In April, she shut down her center, Tryptonite Trail,
where the psilocybin was stored. This is the safe cabinet. It has. It's really sad. I had hopes for the space to serve hundreds and hundreds of people. And in the end, it served maybe 25. And then here is the small dosing room.
Wilt worked as a trauma counselor for more than 20 years, but says her journey with psychedelics was so powerful.
It unearths material that you cannot get to in talk therapy. Yeah.
She had to add it to her healing practice.
Offer them a way to get completely to the other side so that trauma is absolutely in the rearview mirror. It doesn't have a way to impact us in daily life.
Wilt Center is one of 6 in the state that have closed in the last 2 years, due in large part, she says, to a battle that began in the 1960s when psychedelics were criminalized.
And what people didn't realize and still don't realize is that these medicines were being used in psychotherapy back then. But the stigma remains as if it were just another drug like cocaine or heroin.
We were first in the nation and to do this work.
Angela Albee leads Oregon psilocybin services under the Oregon Health Authority. She says getting clients is just one challenge facing the industry.
Overall, licensees have experienced banking, insurance, tax filing issues that exist outside of the model, as well as really high rent.
Centers and facilitators are also banned from most advertising, and the cost to patients can be prohibitive, averaging about $2,500 for a 3-part session and rarely covered by insurance.
Breathing this medicine all the way into the very bottoms of your feet.
Albee says one part of the program that is working well, safety. According to the Oregon Health Authority, in the last 2 years, more than 25,000 psilocybin products were sold to clients, and only 13 people needed help from medics. Still, the hesitancy isn't always about physical safety.
But it's also about the relationship you have to wanting to change or wanting to be a catalyst for something that you're trying to work on. And that can be really scary.
Wow, uncomfortable here, you know?
As for Frank, he hopes people will push past the fear.
These we call the sink in and go to sleep chairs. Depression, loneliness, trauma-related anxieties.
To what could be
They're overcoming us.
on the other side.
And we need it.
Stephanie joins me now. So Stephanie, there are 25 licensed service centers in Oregon. And just to be clear, people have to do the psilocybin there. They can't like take it home.
Exactly. So the way the state has this model set up is people have to get the dose there and take the dose there. Now, how long they'll stay at the center really depends on their dosage and how it works through their body. It can be up to 9 hours sometimes.
And you just got new data from OHA for the last 4 months. What stood out to you?
So this is actually new data. We're seeing this for the first time this year. They just started tracking it from January. So for the first quarter of this year, OHA reports that just over 1,500 people took part in the program. Of those who chose to answer, more than 350 of them came from out of state. As far as why people chose the treatment, people reported all sorts of things. Trauma, depression, even for creativity or general wellness. There is also a growing field of treating people who are grieving.
We heard about it in your story there, but why are these fees so high for these centers and facilities?
So it's a little complicated. When voters passed Measure 109 back in 2020, the goal was to have this basically be a program that is self-funded, which means that taxpayer dollars can't go to supporting this program in the long term. So what that means is all of the fees for all of the licenses have to support running this program at the state level. We did talk to OPS, who said they are reducing those costs as much as they can, but the way that the program is set up, it is kind of tough.
Very tough.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway after getting an inside look at these facilities?
Well, it was really interesting. I think one of the common themes is that everybody involved in this industry that I spoke with is so passionate about it, and they truly believe in this medicine. Now, keep in mind, this medicine isn't new. It's been around in indigenous communities for thousands of years, but it is new to our Western medical model, which means marrying those two things together gets kind of tough and is pretty complicated. So that's kind of all the kinks that they're trying to figure out. But I do want to mention this is part one of a two-part series. So tomorrow we're actually going to follow along and see how this works in real time. We will be following along with a Portland mom who's grieving the loss of her son as she undergoes psilocybin therapy. We'll meet with her before and after her treatment. And I don't want you to miss this, but I will say she said that she definitely didn't expect at all how this process went. So we'll have that tomorrow for you.
I'm looking forward to that. Stephanie, thanks so much. So now it's your turn to weigh in. Would you take part in the psilocybin program? Why or why not? Maybe you already have and you'd like to share your experience. Email us at thestory@kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail 503-226-5090.